And we're back with another eSports report. This episode brought to you by Earth to Echo. Our friends at Relativity have a great movie coming out for the family July 2nd. More on that a little bit later. But Jake, today, jam-packed show. We're looking back at StarCraft 2. Some big stuff going on in the reality world for StarCraft. Also, we have some Smash videos. What Smash videos are we taking a look at today?
Basically, my favorite matches from the pool play, because we had some, it was a long event, a lot of, just dream matchups. So we're going to take a look at my favorite matches from pools at the event.
I like that. And later on in the show, it's all about to go down around 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Hastro's going to come on the show to talk about these guys, the boys in blue, Envy, making some roster changes. They're one of many teams making some big moves as teams are preparing a Call of Duty for MLG's Season 3. So let's start things off with Smash, and let's get right into it. There's going to be a new Violet versus Polt reality show, and these guys are going to do some kind of training camp. It's going to have several episodes. Talk to me a little bit about these two stars from the StarCraft scene.
Both these guys have been around for a long time. They're the first two players to ever receive visas from Korea in North America in the StarCraft 2 community. Now, there's a few League of Legends guys that have them as well, but Polt has been like a top Terran favorite in NA for a very long time. I mean, even when he won a match this weekend in Anaheim, there were guys in the crowd waving American flags in the audience and chanting USA, USA, USA. So even though the guy's from Korea, he's basically American in our heart. So pretty cool that they're doing this whole show in general.
Absolutely. You can see some of Polt's stats here. His all-time record, above 60% win rate against all three races. The fifth player to achieve the Triple Crown, recognized as an athlete by the U.S. government, as you said. One of the coolest items there on his resume. Now, Polt's opponent in this reality series is going to be a fan favorite. He goes by the name of Violet, and he's been living in the U.S. for a while now as well.
Yeah, he's been coming to the U.S. like constantly for years and years and years, and eventually just got the visa to stay here and study, just like Polt. And Violet one of the qualifiers here, not qualifiers, arenas here in the MLG office actually. Back 2 years ago. So it's really good to see him here, and he's actually teamless. So this is a really cool opportunity for him to see somebody without a team coming in. And Polt has a unique situation where he's sponsored by, kind of his own team. He's kind of like the one man on that team. They're not on EG, they're not on Liquid, they're not on these big rosters, so they don't have your typical training regimen in a team house that all these other guys have. So this show kind of like makes a really cool opportunity for them to get that experience and get that exposure as well. So it's really, really good for both players. I'm really pumped.
A legendary Terran in Polt versus a legendary Zerg in Violet. Both players will take on five, upcoming players in StarCraft 2. Take them under the wing, train them before their two teams face off against each other. CSN, the Cyber Sports Network, has put together a trailer. Let's see what this is all about.
Kristen Schiff,
Thomas Jack Attack Levante,
Timothy Khalil,
Oscar Espinosa.
My name is William.
Genevieve Forget,
Austin Kelway,
Graham Alexander,
Justin Pelkey,
Chris Bizzle,
Jared Jon Snow.
I watched your application video and it has blown my mind. You will be in my team and I'm really grateful for that.
oh my god! Congratulations, you will be my team now. You did it!
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, Polt. It's an honor, in all honesty. I didn't even expect a call back.
oh my god. I'm so happy right now. I am more than ready.
Am I dreaming?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CSN Training Camp. 5 Zerg players have been selected for Team Violet. They'll be going up against 5 Terran players for Team Polt.
All right, so it's coming this summer, 5-on-5. Some of these players that you saw in those videos were actually in Anaheim. They're competing through the open bracket. Now, under the training of Polt and Violet, we'll see just how great of players they can become. And this reminds me a little bit, I don't know if you watch the UFC, but I'm a huge UFC fan. I watch The Ultimate Fighter. Very similar setup here.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, just cool that they're giving these guys, the chance to train under a top Terran and a top Zerg. You know, because at first I wasn't sure if it's actually going to be the just locked in, okay, these are 5 Zergs and 5 Terrans. So that's really cool. It's going to be a great experience for these players to really just grow themselves. It should be a great show, and who knows, maybe some guys will pull out some really interesting builds in TVZ or ZVT that'll just kind of change the meta a little bit. Could be a really fun experience for sure.
It's going to be great. Big shout out to CSN for putting this all together, and of course, Polt and Violet. Go support your favorite players. Now, at the end of all this, I'm hoping just like the Ultimate Fighter, we get to see the title fight between Polt and Violet. This was an incredible match that we saw in the winner's bracket in Anaheim.
Yeah, I definitely think we will. And yeah, like you said, they played in the winner's bracket, winner's finals, I believe, at LG Anaheim, because these guys are top-notch players. It was a Super 6 series.
Well, guys, here is a look at some of the top moments from that winner's bracket finals as both players were fighting us for a spot in the championship match.
And we are just about ready to get into this first game, just making sure the players are ready to go. Polt versus Violet. What an awesome series, and it looks like our players are ready, Roddy.
This is what Polt always does. 2 Hellbats, 4 Marauders in the main base, a couple of Hellions on this base. Of course, Violet is aware of this. He's going to be able to trap these Hellions almost immediately. They will morph into Hellbats, but I think Violet will be able to clean this up. But of course, actually, you can't underestimate this.
Yeah, singeing those Zerglings, and the drop trying to hit inside the main base. Here it comes. He's got Stim, 4 Marauders, 2 Hellbats. Even Queens are going to have a lot of trouble with this. He's in the mineral line.
There are very few units out on the map, actually. A lot of Zerglings will spawn and perhaps die immediately. The Marauders might actually start working on this spawning pool. It's going to take a little bit of damage. I think eventually Violet will clean this up, but of course he wants to make sure he doesn't lose too many Zerglings or perhaps even the spawning pool.
Yeah, I love the position he's put himself in. These Marauders covered from the Zerglings by those Hellbats. These Medivacs took just far enough behind that Violet can't get them with his Queens, and he's trading away so many units, so many Zerglings still not mining off of his main base, and Polt's gonna escape with 1 Medivac and these juicy Marauders. This is Violet saying, you've done some damage. I would like to do a little bit back to you.
Polt is moving out. Polt might actually be able to see this in time. It's going to be extremely close, but there we do see these Marines. There is Baneling speed, no spread at all for Polt.
Hits all of Polt's Marines chasing forward, splits the Banelings, takes out Polt's Widow Mines. There's only 5 Marines to fight, like 30 Banelings here. She's continuing to move up. The bunker not loaded just yet, but Polt's splitting in his own natural.
Yeah, he has like 18 Marines to currently work with. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs regardless, but if he stabilizes, then it might not be the end of the world yet, but a lot of SCVs will fall, perhaps a few more than he would like to.
A fantastic counterattack from Violet, saying your Hellbats don't scare me. This bunker under assault. Polt really needs this to hold on to this third base. The RCBs will be able to save it. Polt's income has stabilized. He's producing Marines in his main base. Now he's going to come through his ramp. There's no more Banelings, so he should be able to get these Lings out of his base.
He has plenty of units to work with. Army Supply is a little closer than before, but it's still going to be really hard for these Banelings to roll in. There are quite a few Widow Mines in the mix. However, it's a crazy amount of Banelings, though.
Polt's pre-split reasonably well in his natural, but there's just such a ridiculous number of Banelings moving in, almost killing this command center. Does lift off. The Mutalisks are going to focus the command center down. It's running low on health. I think there might be too many Marines to fight just with the Mutas, though. And Polt's going back into the third base during all of this.
Polt is dealing a lot of economic damage on the other side of the map as well, and Violet has no units over here at all. Where did the command center go? Did it? No, it didn't die. I was like, what the hell? There's no way they should have died.
Extended break.
But this hatchery will die, though. It's not just Nexuses that Polt likes to kill. Apparently he enjoys hatcheries as well.
Anything that gathers resources is a target for Polt. This next attack coming in, there's not many Banelings left, Roddy, to fight this. Just 2 Banelings, 4 more on the way. This 4th base is going to get denied once again, and I don't think Violet has enough to stop this push. GG, game number 1 goes to CM Storm's Polt.
And like you said, normally you want to keep these Hellions alive. Normally you just want to deny creep to most. Now you want to kill some drones, because all the drones that die means Violet's going to have to choose either drones or roaches. If he remakes the drones that he might lose over here.
He's moving it in. These drones line up a little bit, trying to run away. But Polt's just trying to slow down. He knows it's not about this first few minutes. It's about delaying the attack that's going to come afterwards. The Hellions were denied access into the natural. The Medevac's still skirting around, and he's going to poke this 3rd hatchery. Didn't kill a crazy amount of drones, but it slows him down a bit.
Wow, the Medevac got picked off over there by a Queen. That was perhaps a little bit sloppy. Very unfortunate for Polt. He might be able to intercept that Medevac on the top side of the map. The 3 Infestors are making their way across the map, by the way. They could potentially land some big fungals in the middle of the map. 1 fungal will land and connect a little bit, but nothing crazy just yet.
It's the benefit of this creep spread. This drop in the top right will get cleaned up, but the creep spread is so far, siege tanks, if you try to push out on this, as soon as Violet sees the tanks, if they're not sieged up, the Roach and Hydro Force with these fungals is going to do a lot of damage, and he's continuing to move in. The tanks are lined up behind this force, though, but the Bio army is dying so fast. Violet's closing in, just needs to keep a good spread. He's got a nice arc on this army.
Yeah, but it's still a little bit too much firepower in this Terran army, mostly because Violet didn't have the majority of his forces over there. I love when Polt is moving out. He's pushing creep back. This is when he's taking his fort base. Vipers are close. The hive has finished up, so if Violet really wants, he can start building them one by one. And obviously that would be fantastic, because then he can use the abductability on these siege tanks and pull them forward. This is a key moment in the game. Polt has to be so careful, and of course Violet doesn't want to take a bad fight against all these tanks.
He's been trying to hold on to this tower, but now the Infesties are in the back. He's moving. Okay, some of the Roaches going to step to the right, trying to focus on the individual siege tanks. Polt Bio running forward. The Fungal's not really doing too much, and these medevacs have really helped these Marines chew through this Zerg army.
Wow, that was a decisive victory for Polt. As you said, the Fungals, they kind of whiffed. One of them connected with a tank and a medevac, but that was about it.
I like that Polt's army is moved up to the top right. Move this army away from where Polt's retaken that southwest base, and he has reclaimed his center position base, so now Polt just wants to keep Violet away from him. Let him build up this army. He's been mixing in a lot more Marauders, picks off another hatchery, denies the hatchery on the left side. Ultralisks are coming up, but Violet's army not united just yet.
Things are going to get really crazy, as we do see this one drop in the north side of the map should be taken care of. But the army supply for Polt is outrageous. It's 141. Now we see Great Aspires being morphed as well. Of course, Broodlords are very fantastic against every single unit currently in Polt's army. But if Polt decides to go for a massive fight soon, that might be his best chance, because his army is ridiculously huge. Is Violet going to go for it? He can't engage like that.
Slowlings and Ultralisks are a funny combination.
Yeah, the speed did just finish up, and now we see Banelings morphing in the production as well. Violet is just getting everything. Like, his tech score at the end of the game in the result screen is going to be insane, as he researched like every single upgrade in the Zerg arsenal.
Yeah, he's moving on though. He's on the edge of the creep. The Ultralisks are stepping forward. Fungals are thrown out, splitting the Marines reasonably well. But now there are Banelings in the equation. The Hydralisks giving great support from behind. And Violet loses a lot of his army, but he kills a lot of these tech-heavy, these important units that Polt has. And Violet's got 5,000 in the bank. He can go into whatever he wants after this fight.
Yeah, but what is he going to make? That's what I really wonder about. 14 Ultralisk is the answer of Violet. All right, well, that's a cool way to max out.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where this is a very powerful army, but he needs to be able to force the engagement. He can't take a fight without Fungal. And I don't think anybody wants to attack into this tank line. It's given Polt such a good defensive backbone, but that big drop in the top, Roddy.
Yeah, that's 4 medevacs full of units, and the entire army from Violet is out of position. He has a lot of tech structures in his main and in his natural, so this is definitely something he has to deal with. And at the same time, Polt, of course, is going to try to deny the 5th base from Violet. There are a few Ultras left behind, but I'm not sure if it's enough. The Fungo is fantastic, though.
Ultralisks ripping this army to shreds. The Marauders are still strong, but kiting now just one Marauder isn't going to cut it. The Ultralisks clean up the force in Violet's main base, and what a back-and-forth game this has been so far, Rotterdam.
Why no Broodlords yet? Do you think he is afraid that he doesn't have time for it, or?
It's a really big map, and I think Polt, he needs the units that are a bit more mobile to deal with all these different pressures. This attack in the top side.
Wow, Polt, excellent map awareness all over the place.
At this point, it just seems like he's not sure what to do.
No, and I'm not sure what to do either. I'm not sure if I was Violet now, what is the correct unit to make? He lost his Great Aspire. How do you engage this army? Like, on creep, I can definitely see the Ultralisk with a couple of good Fungals getting him. Look at those splits from Polt.
He's moving in. The Ultras taking a lot of the damage up front. The Hydralisks unleashing their high damage output from the back, but they're so squishy, Roddy. The Bio destroys this army of Violet, and he's barely got any money left. GG Polt takes the 2-0 victory.
Back-to-back MLG final appearances for Polt. Absolutely amazing performance by him. What a solid display of his TVZ. He's been playing so much TVZ over the last few days, and you can really see it. He looked in control of that series, Nate.
Fantastic play, a hug shared between two good friends after what was, I'd say that's just an awesome, awesome second game of that series.
All right, so after that 34-minute second game, Polt is going to take the sweep, but it looked like it could have gone either way there in the middle of that second game.
You know, I wonder if making the Ultras was the right choice, because Ultras are really good, but at the same time, I mean, if you can't lock them down with those tanks there, it's so risky to get the Fungals in. I mean, He's a better player than me, so I'm probably wrong entirely. But honestly, you know, sick games all weekend long for StarCraft.
And those drops taking out the Greater Spire, causing big issues there for Violet. Polt able to move on to the grand finals. However, it was Trap who came out and took the tournament. We're going to commercial break. When we return, it's time to talk Super Smash Bros. Melee. Jake has picked out the best games from pool play. You don't want to miss it after this.